What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you how I installed my amplifier in my 2025 Honda Civic Hatchback Hybrid. This video is just an explanation as to how I did it because I didn't see any other videos or anything like that. I only saw some videos on how to do the Accord hybrids, which are in line with the Civic hybrids in a way, with the way that they don't have an alternator, they have a DC to DC converter. So it's recommended that you don't go over 30 to 40 amps for your amplifier. I'm doing a 400 watt RMS 10-inch subwoofer, so for me that wasn't a big deal at all. Just a little preview. Here's how things look under my spare tire well, where you can see how I put my amplifier in there, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I ran my power wire from the front all the way through this hump under here into this little spare tire area where there is no spare tire because it's just a fix-a-flat kit. So with this car being a hybrid, you can't draw too much power from it. It doesn't have a true alternator. It rather uses a DC to DC converter, which some say uses only 30 to 40 amps. Regarding an amplifier, that would be the safe number. You could probably use 50, but I'm no expert, nor am I an audio install expert, so please don't listen to me. I just wanted to show you guys what my install looked like because there's no online videos or anything for the 2025 Civic Hybrid models. A couple things to note is that getting through that firewall is practically impossible, especially messing with especially with this being a high voltage wire in the way. You really don't want to be trying to get something caught up in there or anything like that. It's just a little risky. I've seen people try to get through the firewall in the middle over here on some Accord hybrids, but I saw this one video where somebody ran the actual gauge, 4-gauge wire or 1 gauge, whatever you want to do. They actually ran it through the fender itself and through the door, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I did that. So there really wasn't anywhere for me to mount a fuse like before. I know you're supposed to keep it as short as possible. I figured this length was just perfectly okay. It's probably as far as you would want to go. If I had to guess, it's probably 13 inches, 14 inches away from the actual positive terminal itself. Should be perfectly fine. So I managed to put my fuse right here. It fit perfectly under this box right here. Regarding height, the slant is almost identical. A little more than that. You'll see that on the hood itself, there's also a slant that if I were to close it, all the way down, it matches more like that, and it manages to fit perfectly under that. I've tested it, and clearly the plastic would be broke or the hood would be marked if it didn't fit, if that wasn't the case. So I just ran my 4-gauge wire from the positive all the way about 13-14 inches to the actual inline fuse itself, and from there I actually ran the wire through this fender, and you'll see whenever I open the door up over here, I ran it through that fender and fished it through here. And there is there's an empty rubber grommet right here that you can pull out just from, yanking it out right there. And you can cut a little hole in it. And a lot of amp kits come with a little rubber grommet adapter / fitter for the actual gauge wire itself. So I just went ahead and slid that. I'll put a picture up on the video. I slid that into the actual weather grommet itself, and it was just a blank one. So, there was no problem. There was no wires in the way or anything like that. And from there, I popped this plastic panel off, and behind this panel is a white foam that you'll feel if you got your hand behind there. Behind the white foam is the actual wire itself, or where that hole is. So you just want to go ahead and fish the wire through that hole, get your hand behind that white foam. It's relatively easy. It's not stuck in place or anything. And then you'll be able to fish the wire through very easily. And from there, I just ran it through, and I popped this trim up thinking that I had to. I really didn't, but I popped it up. I ran it under the carpet, and I got about to the seatbelt holder when I realized, dang, I don't even need to run it under the carpet, because if you just slide it under, you can get a good distance under there. My 4-gauge wire fit perfectly. I ran it all the way under, ran it under this panel, ran it under this panel, and here's where things got a little bit tricky. So I was still kind of just pushing the 4-gauge wire up until about this point when I realized, dang, you can't just go around the 4-gauge wire, can't just go around this plastic trim right there and conveniently go continue through, and then you'd eventually go back there. What I had to do was kind of fish it through this point about there, and you'll see under here, I came up around that area. You just gotta really finick around and mess around and get it through in order to fish it through and whatnot, but you'll eventually get it. I was able to do it on my own, and this is gonna be the point where sedan owners, you kind of on your own, because this video is really for hatchback people. You're gonna have to figure out a way to get the wire from under the seat to the back, and it's kind of easy with the hatchback, so I'm not sure about sedan models. So what I did was kind of came around from under the seat. You'll see, came from the front to the back, And from here, we kind of got to go around this bolt with the seatbelt. So go behind the seatbelt just so that you're not interfering with the way that it pulls or anything. Go behind it and you'll see behind the seatbelt, you can kind of see a hint of my wire back there. Let's see, there we are. And from there, you're gonna want to push the seat down, raise this little flap that's already loose, and you'll see where my wire came through. For me personally, this was definitely the hardest part of the install. You're gonna have to get under this flap right here, or you're gonna have to get through this actual, I don't know what you would call it, this angle right here. A couple things, the battery is under here, so you're gonna want to be careful with that. I didn't realize that these right here, you can pop the plastic off, and there's a screw under there. You unscrew it, this whole piece comes out, and you can conveniently lift this whole edge off, and it makes things much easier. Instead, what I did, I kind of forcefully pulled the wire through. I put a coat hanger on it. I kind of fished it through here. I had to go around multiple times back and forth trying to get the wire through here because this is much tighter than you think. I had to go back and forth multiple times, getting the wire through, fishing it through. Finally, after like 30 minutes, I was able to do it. But I'm telling you, if you just pop this off, it's a little panel, has a screw, take the thing off. And then from there, it's just a matter of lifting up this piece that we're looking at right now and then fishing your wire kind of under there like that, and it'll pop up right into this panel, which is where we want it to be so that it doesn't interfere with the screw here, with this whole, how this is level and everything. And then it's just a matter of getting that wire from under there to about right here. Once you go around the seatbelt through that panel and under to this little pocket right here, there will be a way that you can just tuck the wire under the carpet. It's a very convenient little pocket. You keep fishing it through, tuck it under, make it look clean. Obviously I put the grommet on it to make it look all neat, and I fished it through under the styrofoam pad for the fix-a-tire kit because there is no spare tire in the hybrid hatchbacks. And from there, it obviously goes to the amp. And let me hold this up real quick. You guys can see how I have my amp installed. Please don't mind the speaker wire that is pulling to death right now. It's currently hooked up to my subwoofer box that is hanging on for dear life. You can see that what I did was there's kind of like this raised level to the carpet that I cut out with a pair of scissors. Literally, it was pretty easy. I cut it out and my amp fit perfectly and clean under there. Regarding ground, I kind of had to lift up the carpet over here, shave down the metal because there's bare metal under here. Let's see if I can lift this panel up a little bit and you can see where my ground is. Yep, you sure can. So I shaved off the paint and everything, tested the ground using a digital multimeter, made sure that the ohms were right. Sorry for my poor grommet, I don't know, protection thing that you'd call it. And from there, ground goes all the way through. Same thing as the positive, comes under the styrofoam right here. And then boom, now we have our ground and our positive lead. And that's my remote start, don't worry about that. And my amplifier fit conveniently right here. And I'd say this is a fairly larger one size-wise. It's older, so it's not like a compact, efficient type of thing. It's just a 750 watt kicker amplifier, but it's powering my 400 watt RMS JL sub, so it'll never really go over 40 to 50 amps at most, at absolute max volume, which I won't even be doing anyway. And from there, it's kind of the same process of fishing wires and whatnot, your speaker wire and everything to the front, depending on how you decide to install a head unit or you install to the back door wire or something for the speaker wire. I'm going to be putting a head unit into my car itself. So for me personally, what I did, repeat the same process, run your RCAs through, same process behind the seatbelt, under here, through the panel. You'll see, you can see my remote turn on wire and my RCAs comes through, same exact thing, just tuck it under each panel, comes through. And for me, I have them sitting right here for right now because I have a head unit coming in from off of AliExpress that I'll probably be doing a video on, but I'm gonna be wiring the auto turn on and the RCA cables up through the same panel on the opposite side. It's gonna go through the glove box. Gotta turn off my active noise canceling unit that's in the glove box. It's located about right there. Obviously you can't see it right now. I'll be doing a video on how to disable that. It'll come through, go to the aftermarket head unit, plug in the sub RCA and the auto turn on wire. Once again, I'm no audio expert, so please don't take any of my stuff too seriously. I'm just showing you how to run a wire from the front, through the side fender, through the door, and the rubber grommet, all the way through, under some panels, through this hump over here, which you need to unscrew. Don't do what I did where you just fish it through. From there, under this panel, I put my ground about right there, and everything is hidden under the spare well where a spare tire would go, but instead I have an amp where the wires look like a mess right now because I'm testing it. because there is no head unit to be plugging anything into. Please don't mind the wire mess under there. But yeah, look how convenient the amp fits under there, all hidden. Here's my box for my subwoofer. Fits perfectly. It's 5 inches high, which is the same distance from this bottom to the top right here. So it fits conveniently. Once again, just a disclaimer, I am no audio expert. I'm no expert when it comes to electricity or anything. No alternator in this car, DC to DC converter, 30 to 40 amps. Please don't go over that. And try to get the inline fuse as close as you can to the positive terminal. I put it there for convenience sake. Once again, it goes from the positive terminal under here, right under, pop it right through. This is for a 4-gauge wire. I'm not sure how a 1-gauge wire would fit. This makes it look like the 4-gauge wire is all pressed up and like cutting through it. That's just an illusion. It's just this weather thing is, I only cut it that distance, so it just sits up against that propped up. From there, once again, go through the fender, through the door, and you saw the rest. Thank you guys for watching. I did this video because I didn't see one online. There was nothing on forums or anything. Just nobody really had any knowledge on how to do the actual Civic hybrids themselves. There's plenty of stuff on the Accord hybrids, and I kind of just used some strategies that I saw from those videos. And once again, thank you guys for watching. If you need anything, let me know down in the comments. Feel free to support with a like or subscribe, and have a good one.